Hey guys, and welcome back to ADHD TV Reacts. We have just beaten the Hogwarts Legacy, and this is going to just be a review. Um, One thing about most gameplay is you just kind of want it to be intuitive. You wanted it to be fun. Things should make sense. Like, you shouldn't consistently be worried about like you hitting the wrong button because the button that you were told to hit doesn't feel right. And yeah, you can map that out and change whatever on this, but the way that the regular buttons run on it, it definitely just seems to go fine. Some of the stuff that I've got an issue with in the game is mostly just the repetitiveness of it, the lack of really viable AI. Like, you can do nearly anything, and no one even offers a word about it. I was in Hogsmeade, and I blasted a guy with Confringo and Bombarda 80 times, and he finally turned around and called me cheeky. I do know the game took almost 6 years in development, and I know it is a very large game with a lot of stuff, but I feel like maybe some of the stuff that they put in comes off more as filler instead of anything to actually make the game feel more livable. And there is a lot in the game and a lot of stuff in the game, but when you consider that you go to a village and there's maybe one person in that entire village to speak to, or if it's even that. Like, sometimes you don't even get that, you just have a village. The fighting system seems to work pretty well. It does have the where you can choose 4 different loadouts, and you can store the majority of all the weapons that you can use in combat and stuff in that. Some things are not really going to be useful in combat.
Castles must have been quite stately in its time.
Some stuff becomes a little too easy in combat when you get all the spells. One thing that it does have nice, because there are a lot of collectibles. If you come out to the world map, you can zoom all the way out. If you bring this over here out, it'll show you worldwide how many things you have just in the Highlands. And that's anything surrounding that is not Hogwarts or Hogsmeade. You can go through and see how many infamous foes, platforms, demiguise statues. It also, so you can go like straight to like the Feldcroft region. It shows down here already. I've got 2 infamous foes done and 1 of 4 landing platforms. I've got hardly anything else done in this playthrough of it. I've literally just went through to beat the game, but this does help a lot track down places you've missed, things you've missed, and it works well. I mean, even if you go to Hogsmeade, it does the same thing. Up here, it'll show you demiguise statue, field guide pages, collection chests, and you can go through there and like, that's not gonna exactly help you find them, but it'll at least let you know you're searching in a place that you don't need to be in. The same thing goes with Hogwarts. So you have the collections chest, the field guide pages, the demiguise, the astronomy. But if you come over here to like the astronomy wing and bring that up, these change, and you can see how many there are specifically to each one. See, in the astronomy tower wing, whatever it is, this everywhere where these things are, there's a potential to find demiguise statue, field guide pages, and collections chest. Those help greatly. In this way, you're not wandering through all of Hogwarts trying to find a chest or two or a demiguise statue, and you can beat the entire game without getting all of the demiguise stat. You can beat the entire game without getting a lot of the side quests done, but a lot of the side quests are where you get some of the spells and some of the abilities, and those the unforgivable curses are maybe some of the greatest ones that you can get. For replayability, it's kind of hard to say. There are 4 different houses. Each house pretty much plays almost the exact same story, beat for beat. There is a difference in mission of the Richard Jackdaw missions, depending on which house. If you're in Slytherin, you go and give the house elf information, and he gives you toast, and then you take the toast, and you do all that. And I believe like Hufflepuff, you have to go to a different, I think you have to go to the Owlery. Gryffindor, I think you just speak to someone who knows about it, and that's the only real difference in there. Style is pretty much the only main difference, and most of the stuff you see on one character is going to be almost the exact same for another character, but just different colors. Like everything that I've got that would be specific, which I don't think I have actually anything on here that's specific to a house. But that'll be the only main difference is that and the decorating. Now it's easy to go through the whole game and completely ignore the traveling, and the people who are not selling things in and around Hogsmeade. It's super easy to just kind of not even mess with them. A lot of it is because it's kind of like every single thing here you can get. Ashwinder eggs, lacewing flies, leaping toadstools, leech juice, and moonstone. You can all get those from your vivariums where all of your animals are. They're all randomly in there. Wiggenweld. The best thing you can do with these is they're just a great place to unload items when you're out in the world. But if you haven't already previously visited them and got a flume thing up, then you're walking it out, or you're going to teleport back to Hogsmeade or Hogsmeade. I think the world building itself isn't that bad, but it feels like the animals out in the wild give you more attention than people. But even this, like, there's a sheep. Okay, I kind of blasted him back, so he's going to run off, but none of the other sheep seem to be concerned. I'm gonna blast. Nothing. And yeah, there is a lot to explore. There's a lot to look at. There's a lot to see. But you know, once you've played it and gotten 100% on it, there's literally nothing else to do but fly around and fight people. And that's not awful or anything by any means. The combat is probably one of the best parts of the game. But you know, like there's Hogwarts mysteries to solve, but there's three. There are three whole mysteries in the game. One of them's a bridge. I'm pretty sure the other one is the clock thing in the tower where you do the duels. And there is another one, I can't quite remember it. It's not something spectacular. Now the main storyline, which really should be the thing that drives the thing, that drives the story, what drives the game, is not a bad storyline by any means. I have a hard time figuring out how much of it would be considered canon. I definitely feel like apparently I've got some kind of moth flying around. I feel the more compelling storyline in the game is the Sebastian stuff. And I will say, when I first started playing, you kind of naturally get sorted into Slytherin. I feel like that's the goal of the game, is to get you in Slytherin, because that's where everything makes the most sense. Because if you're in any other house, all the stuff with Sebastian and that just feels odd. You have an interaction with him one time in class, and then you have an interaction with him after class, and then he's inviting you to come meet his family. The other one, at least you're in the same house, so it kind of would make sense why y'all two are conversing or talking or interacting or any of that. But at the end of it, the Slytherin one is the only one that really makes sense in that way. Keeping the story going is you know, it does what most stories kind of do, where if it wasn't like this, it wouldn't be a story. If he wasn't the exact same position as Professor Rackham and Isadora, then he would have just been like everybody else. Like there's an entire school full of people who did not have the school year I had, because they weren't having to, you know, deal with psychotic goblins and dragons, and except for Poppy. Poppy kind of put herself in that. Poppy and Natsai. See?
Lumos.
Now, much like the townspeople, almost everything is also very repetitive. I believe I've said it before, there are over 90 Merlin trials. 95, I believe, to be exact. And each of those Merlin trials, there are 9 separate versions of each Merlin trial. I mean, just like this, once you've got it figured it out, it's really not that big of a deal. So we got Spider, which is going to be 8, and a 1, which makes it 9. 9 plus 4 equals 13. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So then you go over to this, put the little owl guy on, and then same thing with this one. So it's 3 and 13. That's 17, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 1, 2, 3. That's 16, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So, little crab guy. That one. Alright. So, every door that you find in the game like this are solved the exact same way. The Merlin trials, each of them, once you get the 9 basic ones, each of them from then on out are done the exact same way. So if you solve one Merlin trial, you can go and solve every one throughout the world that's the same. Sometimes there are differences. Sometimes there's a little bit of changes. Sometimes things are more hidden for no apparent reason. Alright, we'll go check out this Merlin trial. Alright, so there's 2 separate versions kind of these. This one looks like the one where you break it. And to be fair, there's a couple of those that are just the same. There's one where there's a pot that you break. One where there is these things you break. There's one where you don't break it, you put it together. When the trial starts, they fall apart, you use Revelio. There's one type where you light a bunch. There's one that seems to be just jumping back and forth across a thing. One thing I will say is whenever you start, the more flue flames you get, the better off you are. Alright, took care of that guy. because a lot in the game is just kind of, we need something there, so you're going to deal with a lot of like random villains that you normally just, and there's these things. It's
Revelio.
oh, there it is. I'll try out another Merlin trial. Overall, I will say the game is not bad by any means. This is, no, not doing that one. So that one, those specifically, everyone, this is, you bring bugs to it. I've done that one in the game. While I was still playing, I don't feel the need to do that one, that type again. Some of these you can figure out what they're going to be before they get started, because you can find some things. Demiguise statue. You can find some things. This one's going to be probably a roll down the hill one. Alright, and as you can see here, this is the thing. This is going to use... the best thing for this sometimes is literally just a pulso. These are usually, as you see, up a hill, and there's a rock. And Depulso. So. And let's Depulso again. Just get it rolling and follow it down. Most of these are lined up in a way that once you get it going, it goes right into the trial and you get it done. The best thing about the Merlin trials, and it is good to get them done pretty early on, because you do not have a lot of space in your inventory, and you will just continuously be finding items. And if you don't want to teleport back out to Hogwarts and then teleport close by and then fly back in or walk back in or what, like,
I should investigate.
Another Merlin trial. And this one is another one of those break-in ones, so we're going to skip that one. There's usually, this one looks like another Merlin trial. This one looks like it's going to be slightly different, but this one's, this one is with the one lady.
I wonder who lives here.
Alright, so we'll just do this one real quick, because it's pretty easy. I'll show you. This one, some of these are the ones that can seem a little more complicated, because there's just more, it's not even more to do, it's just more places you gotta take it. Now, I don't know if this one will work on that, but no. So we will try it, but yeah. The Wingardium Leviosa is one of the easiest ones to do with these, because, and I'm sure it explains it somewhere, but like the right analog stick controls up and down. Your keypad controls kind of like that, and turning. I don't know what good that'll do you, but you just drop it in the hole And you're done with that one. Now, you do not need Wingardium Leviosa to do that. You can do that with the Pulso. You just got to knock the crap out of it about 50 times. Well, while we're over here, I might as well show explanation on how to do an astronomy table.
Here's one of those tables.
These are super easy as well. So you see kind of like the basic shape going on that they're trying to get to here. And then you just kind of, once you get to there, you just kind of do it and it'll pop it up. You're just focusing and twisting it is all you're really having to do. Every one of them is going to be done the same way. Some of them you have to twist more, some of them you have to focus in more. Oh, here's one of them that I was talking about earlier, the Merlin trial. This one sometimes allows you to do it, yep. Just kind of land on them. Again, it makes it hard for me to, it just, so they're put as, like, well, these Merlin trials are put all across, and they're everywhere, and nobody's ever been able to figure them out. And that one, you just walked across the top. Like, I understand that you're supposed to be, like, appears to be a Merlin trial here somewhere. Because I found this thing. Oh, okay. Imagine it's going to be up the hill here, maybe?
I know what that means. Merlin trial.
Like I said, the hardest part of some of these is literally just tracking down what you need to use, because not all of them are just where it would make sense. But once you get that done, most of them, especially the one with the big rocks, are not that big of a deal. I literally hit it one time. We're going to see how close this gets to the... Oh, we've ran out of the track. Oh. Alright, well. Looks like we're about there. Drop it. And another Merlin trial done. So those are super easy. Like I said, you could do it with the Pulso. You could just knock them out like that, but... And then... Trying to find a specific type here. Well, this one's rather interesting, but I don't see anything to trigger this one. All right, we'll try this one out and see what it is. Ah, okay. Confringo? Confringo. Confringo. I don't know if that was enough. Alright, so this one is going to be a little bit different just on the fact that these are all kind of timed. So, find the tallest. Confringo. And Confringo. And they will those have and some of them won't even have that. Some of them will not have the drop thing, but a couple of them do. You find the highest one, you do that one first, and then next highest, then the lowest, and then you're done. And this is another one with the lights. This is something I haven't really showed yet in this playthrough. So these are kind of interesting. Alright, so when you walk through it the right way, it brings up a hedge maze. You can still use Revelio. You won't have to worry too much about people or creatures or anything. There's nothing usually in here. It's just literally a hedge maze you gotta wander through. And identified outfit item. Well, that's good.
Revelio.
But so those, every one of those, again, are going to be the same. Those are usually just entrances to things. You just have to find them. See what this one is. Yeah, this is one of the more common ones you find. So the most difficult part of a lot of these is just tracking down where you need to be. The actual oh, there they are. The actual completion of them are not very hard. That's another one of them blow up ones.
Let's get this over with.
I don't know if there's any more of these people here. Still looking for a Loyalist Sentinel. That's a Loyalist Ranger. That's a troll. Let's see if there's maybe one up here.
What they deserve.
Loyal Warrior, Loyal Ranger.
I'm sorry. You can do it at 11 or 4.
And
then if you want to change it, you can change it by 1 hour
I
every
don't know
day.
what this guy is.
Whatever works for your world. And Renee. And Bobby. Nice to meet you, Bobby.
Well, that's a lie. Let's get up there. Okay.
You're going to be our lead.
Up and down. Loyalist commander. Alright, well, we don't have... Back over here. So we do not have enough. We do not have the thing we needed. So... Boy, I hate when they run. So... That is something also that I've noticed with the game. For some reason, it will give you dueling feats that you cannot completely get done. Still trying. There's a warrior. Troll. So sometimes you're not gonna be able to get the dueling feats done because there's just no way to do it. So on the battlefield, you will also have those little balls pop up. And if you don't really need them, you can just hold on to it for later. Appears to be more people, so maybe one of them will be a loyalist sentinel. Always collect what you can. Oh, you're a loyalist sentinel. Well, that was not it. I don't think that was it. There's got to be another. It's like a different kind of thing he uses. Oh crap! I forgot.
You've one less follower, Ranrock.
All right. Well. These things happen. But I would say that the side quests are what gives the game its life. The main quest does kind of take you through them more, but there are definitely more things that can be done. If I would to give this rating out of 10, I would give it probably a 6, and that's mostly what the, and that's mostly just because there's a lot that I still feel like there can be desired. I would definitely give the game a look. Maybe a 7 out of 10. Like I said, the gameplay, the artwork, the style, all of that's amazing.
If the dose is too high or not therapeutic, yeah, you can go down. So that's the other thing. Why do that? Yeah, so if your ears start to ring or hurt, let us know right away. here and there. But we're talking
I know a marlin trial when I see one.
here. Let us know right away. I'll leave you with all our numbers. But those are the two biggest.
There's no telling what lies in wait for me in there.
Things of mine is the hearing, the ringing in your ears, because I have ringing all the time, but I'm putting it out. But if all of a sudden you have ringing or your ears hurt, then let us know. Any diarrhea. Yeah. Really, really soft or pure water.
Those are a lot of side effects.
Do you have diarrhea now?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
But,
Probably won't
so,
get that one. If you don't have it by now, you're probably not going to get it.
if you have not played the game, I would suggest you to play it just to kind of get a feel for it. If you're someone who wants a game who just wants a storyline and a good story and that feeling of Hogwarts related stuff, this is it. This is a great game for that. If you're wanting something that's got multiple replayabilities and go back in and finding stuff you've never seen before, this probably is not going to be that.
Can't fight for yourself. I'm not the pass. You will keep chasing down last little blood. That's an avenge your death.
I hate it.
But yeah, there's like I said, you can go through and you can replay with other houses. You can get a different kind of feel, but at the end of the day, the things you do, the decisions you make, the choices are not very varied. Most of the stuff, if you did it once, you're going to be able to do it again. There are multiple levels of gameplay. If you are interested in the storyline and all you want to do is play a story and get the feel for it, then yeah, great game for that. And as you can see, took that every one of them out. The open world is pretty large and pretty big. You can teleport around, so it does not feel as large as it is at times. But
Revelio. This one's going to be another Depulso one, probably running up that thing. That's how the majority of these things are. There's a dragonfly. Doug bug. I think I can bring him over here. Try to lure him over here. There we go. coming back now. But, so, if you I would suggest finding it on sale, but if you're running through PlayStation, they do have a lot of sales pretty often on games. So this is one of those that I would suggest playing if you have a chance. It is not something where you're going to finish in just a couple days. I don't think many people are going to be bored with the storyline. I don't think many people who are involved in wanting to play because it's a Harry Potter type game are going to be blown out of the water by it. Yeah, you're in Hogwarts. Yeah, you get to see all the stuff. You get to see how everything works. But at the end of the day, it's an okay game. But thank you for stopping in to listen to the review. If you enjoy the video, you can leave a like. If you really like the video, you can subscribe. If you find something of importance in it and think you want to share it, please do. As always, thank you for tuning in. This has been ADHD TV Reacts, tuning out. Goodbye.